Ryan says, I'm finding lots of geo-relevant expired domains from old local businesses but have very little backlinks. How do you typically link out to local money sites from these? Or do you just add a URL or brand link somewhere on the page? Or do you add some content? Would it be better to save your exact match anchors for a domain that will provide more link juice? Thanks. That's a good question, Ryan. What I've been doing is it's not, I don't care about the number of backlinks when I'm scraping domains. I'm not really worried about that. What I look for is I look for the trust flow numbers and the topical trust flow category, so I want to make sure that it's relevant. And then what I do is I look at the age of the inbound links going to that domain. So in other words, I'll go look at the archive.org, you know, and the Wayback Machine, and I'll take a look and see if, for example, one of the domains that I want to purchase has had, it's only, let's say it's only got 2 referring domains, right? And one of the links is like from 2006, and then the other one's from like 2010. Chances are that link's never going to be removed. And so I don't really care about the quantity of links. I used to when I was buying expired domains like the traditional PBN style, you know, building PBNs when you just go out and find expired domains based on purely metrics and you didn't care about topical relevancy or any of that stuff. It was more about the number of backlinks, the number of referring domains, because once you would rebuild the site or build a new site onto that domain, then webmasters over time would start removing the link to that site because it was no longer relevant to what it had been. You know, it was different, it was new content, and that kind of stuff. And so with traditional PBN domains, you would over time they would lose their backlinks. And so they, you know, they were kind of like a finite resource. They would only last so long. And that wasn't always the case, but that was more often than not the case. So, but with the domains that I'm buying now, I don't really care if it's like, I'll buy a domain that just has one inbound link. No kidding. If it's a powerful inbound link, and if it meets the, you know, if it's going to serve a purpose that then I'll go ahead and purchase it, even if it has just one inbound link. But again, I check to make sure that the age is there. If it was a one inbound link that was just placed last year, then I might not do it, because there's a likelihood that that's going to be removed. But if it was a link placed in 2008 and it's been there for 8 years, chances are it's never going to be removed, and so that would still be valuable in my opinion. How do I link from those to my money site? Well, what I typically do is we'll rebuild the old site using the Wayback Rebuilder, the one inside of Blue Chip Backlinks. Those of you that aren't using Blue Chip Backlinks, Terry Kyle came out with just the Wayback Rebuilder. Is like kind of like a spin-off from Blue Chip Backlinks, and it's cheaper than Blue Chip Backlinks. I don't remember what it is. I think it's like $37 a month or something like that. But to be honest with you, you should go ahead and get Blue Chip Backlinks if that's the case. But what I'll typically do is just rebuild the site, and then I'll just put a link right on the home page of the site. Like, all other links on the site will be no follow, and there will be one do follow link that I'll hack into the site, like on the front page of the site, because it's just an HTML page. So I go in and edit the HTML, update the index.html file, and it, you know, save it to the server or to Amazon S3 or wherever I'm hosting it, and then that's it, and I leave it alone, because those are genuine, real sites, right? So I just usually put it in there. Sometimes they're footer links. I know you got to be a little bit more careful with, you know, doing footer links and that kind of stuff, but that's what I've been doing, and it works really well. It's different than like if you were spamming, you know, using traditional style PBN with a bunch of blog posts on it, because those look like PBNs. You know what I mean? But when you're rebuilding old sites, they look like legitimate sites because they were legitimate sites. So I'll just put a link on the home page somewhere, and that's it. That's how I do it. But remember, if you're concerned about that, which you should be, you got to be careful. You can always link to a Tier 1 IFTTT property, preferably one that has a do follow link back to your money site. So you can link to that, or you can set up one expired domain that you've rebuilt, and then point all of your subsequent expired domains to that one, so that you're essentially creating like a buffer site. And you can do that as well. Okay. Do I add more content? No, I'm not building PBN style sites at all anymore. All I do now is rebuild old sites. That's it. And that way I don't have to come up with content. I don't have to theme the blogs. I don't have to nothing. I just unzip the file, upload it to the server, go in and edit my index.html file, add my link, and I'm done. Never have to touch it again. Would it be better to save your exact match anchors for a domain that will provide more link juice? Yeah, I mean, you can. You know, what I do is I just typically will, if I'm going to build like 10 links back to my money site, then I'll use 10 different anchors, different types of anchor text, things like that, so that they're not all the same. But that's up to you. Again, if what you could do is always use an exact match anchor from one rebuilt site that points to your money site, and then link to that rebuilt site with all the subsequent domains, and use different variations then. Does that make sense? So that you're only providing one exact match anchor back to your site, but then you're juicing that link with a bunch of other relevant links using LSI or co-occurring type keywords. Okay?